Chapter 5, we're going to talk about composition techniques for those impactful photos. So we've been through 4 chapters now. You've got sharp focus, you've mastered exposure, and you're sculpting with light. Now it's time to pull it all together with powerful composition, because technically, composition is how you lead the viewer's eye. It is how you create balance, energy, mood, and impact. Now this chapter is about more than rules. It's about purpose. I will walk you through real-world techniques that I use on every shoot, whether I'm framing a bald eagle at 500 meters or a bride and groom under a beautiful canopy of lights. First, we have the rule of thirds, which is our foundation as photographers. This is the bedrock of visual balance. Divide your frame into 9 boxes. 2 vertical lines and 2 horizontal lines. Place your subject along these lines where they intersect. I use this every day for wildlife perched on a branch. I place their eye in the upper third, and for live shows, I might place a guitarist off center under a spotlight. Most cameras and phones let you overlay this grid, so turn it on and frame with intention. Next, we have leading lines. These are visual trails that pull your viewer into the photo. Roads, fences, tree limbs, railings, shadows, all of them work. Use them to guide the eye. Lines can lead to your subject or just move through the frame to build some tension and depth. I use train tracks, concert lights, or even bird perches and trees. Leading lines create harmony, direction, and momentum in your frame. Then you have framing within the frame. Try to use natural or man-made elements to frame your subject. Doorways, windows, arches, tree limbs. Anything that surrounds and focuses attention. Next, layer your image. You need foreground. This becomes the frame. Midground holds the subject, and then have background to provide some context. I often use foreground leaves or brush when shooting wildlife. It creates intimacy and depth, and it pulls the viewer into the scene. We have symmetry and patterns. Our brains love repetition. We are creatures of habit, so use this to your advantage. Architecture with clean lines, reflections in water or glass, or just rows of trees or rows of books, or even rows of dancers. Use your symmetry. It's out there everywhere in the world. So try to break the pattern with your subject, and you instantly create emphasis. I shot dance crews one time where symmetry would build power, and one unexpected move tells the whole story. Next, you have perspective, where you change your view. One of the fastest ways to create compelling shots is to lift your angle. High angles make your subject appear small or vulnerable. A low angle adds power and drama to the subject. Close-ups, they draw attention to texture and detail. And then you have the bird's eye, or that drone shot, that just simply simplifies the scene, and it tells a bigger story. At weddings, I usually crouch low during the kiss, letting the couple fill the top of the frame while the crowd blurs behind them. And that, my friends, is drama created by perspective. Other times when people want that position of power, I'll get on the floor and I'll shoot up. And as they look down, they have that image of, I'm the boss. Also, use negative space. Give your subjects room to breathe. Not every picture has to be super zoomed in. So leave space around them for emotional impact, and isolate the subject for minimalism and mood. For instance, when I shoot a hawk against the sky, I try to leave 2/3 of the frame as an open sky. That way it feels lonely, wild, and powerful. Negative space, it's not just empty. Sometimes it's intentional silence that amplifies your subject. Then we have the golden ratio. This is nature's blueprint. This is a more organic version of the rule of thirds. It follows the Fibonacci effect. It's basically a curve that moves naturally across the frame. You can place your subject along this curve and let the viewer's eye follow the path. And you don't need a math degree, just study nature. This pattern shows up everywhere, whether it be sunflowers, waves, seashells, and powerful compositions. Then you have visual weight and balance. Not all parts of the frame are equal. A bright spot, strong strong color or large subjects. They carry more visual weight. Balance can be symmetrical or asymmetrical, where a large object is balanced by negative space or smaller elements. Before I press the shutter, I always ask, is anything overpowering my subject? Can I balance it visually? Can I move my subject? That question alone will improve your compositions. Next, we have motion and energy. Diagonal lines, movement, and tilted framing always add energy to a photo. A tilted horizon in an action shot creates drama. Leaving space in the direction of movement also creates a sense of flow. When I shoot rap concerts, for instance, I'll tilt the frame as the artist lunges forward, and it makes the photo feel alive, raw, and full of momentum. So my real-time camera setup, this is where all the elements come together. I personally shoot manual mode with auto ISO capped at 12,800 on my Canon R5 because that's the maximum ISO where I don't get too much noise and I can handle it. I then use my shutter wheel to freeze action or blur motion based on the story I want to tell, and then the rear dial I use for exposure compensation. This lets me adjust brightness or darkness instantly. I use the focal point selection to lock in, and then I can use AI tracking to track subjects. It's very easy and I never miss a shot. While I shoot, I'm constantly asking myself, is this shot balanced? Is it telling a story? And what emotion does it give off? So I've put together a few practice drills for you guys. Number one is part of a composition series. I want you to write this down. Go out and photograph one subject, just one subject, 5 different ways. Use some rule of thirds, some symmetry, negative space, leading lines, and different perspectives, and get good with each one. I want you to learn framing. Just go out for a walk, go outside, and only shoot subjects that are framed by nature or natural man-made structures. For instance, try to shoot a bird that's perched through some tree limbs. Then I want you to try to do a movement story. This is where you capture a moving subject using diagonal framing. Leave some space in the direction of the motion. For instance, if your subject's here, leave some space here if he's going in this direction, and of course opposite if your subject's going the opposite way. Then we have minimalistic isolation. I want you to shoot one subject against a clean background. Use negative space to create emotion. The conclusion here is composition is where your vision meets technique. It is the most powerful way to direct attention, stir emotion, or just guide the viewer through an image. With everything that you've learned, focus, exposure, light, and now composition, you are building photos that don't just look good, but they feel good. In chapter 6, we're going to move into visual storytelling, so stay tuned for that. Because once your framing is strong, you have got to make sure that your shot actually says something. So let's go.